If tomorrow every diploma suddenly disappeared, what would happen? Would we still be able to prove that we are capable, or would that knowledge be gone and disappeared with that piece of paper? Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, judges. My name is Muhammad Husein Shodiq as the representative of the University of Jember. And today I will be presenting the SDGs number 4, the quality of education. Judges, today I would like to invite you to reflect on one question. Are we truly learning, or are we just simply collecting paper? Judges, according to the global reports, many learning systems still prioritize standardized testing and measurable outcomes. We can see it in Indonesia, where academic success often associated with exam scores and certificates. National examination, for example. As a result, education was measured by grades, certificates, and also diplomas. Well, don't get me wrong, those are very important in our life. But if we observe it in a bigger picture, at the end of the day, they should never become the ultimate goal of learning, right? Because education should build in 3 pillars. The first is understanding. Secondly, it's curiosity. And third is critical thinking. But judges, yet in many learning environments, students are always need to focus on the result rather than the process and the 3 pillars where I just stated. Let's take an example for me. I study up late, memorizing formulas, memorizing key terms as a natural sciences student. I celebrate the result, but much later, the knowledge, the equation is gone. And that is a very big problem. So we need to orient our educational system into the 3 educational pillars. The first one is understanding. Students don't need to memorize facts, don't need to memorize ideas. Rather, they need to understand the concept and meaning so that they don't just remember, but they know the answer. Secondly, curiosity. Students need to ask questions. What, why, how does this concept matter? So curiosity transforms passive learning activity into an active one. And last but definitely not the least, critical thinking. Students need to evaluate ideas, not just given the information and not do anything about it. They should ask why and evaluate it to the real life situation. Judges, there are actually many efforts to put these 3 pillars into our solution in our world. Director of Indonesian Islamic University, for example, he issued a policy for himself to not put the professor inside the name. His name is Professor Fathul Wahid, which now is only Fathul Wahid in every correspondence of the institutional part. And the bigger initiative, for example, Merdeka Belajar, which encourages a flexible and student-centered learning. But yet, in many classrooms, there are still exam-oriented, memorizing facts, and that's kind of unfortunate, right? That is why strengthening the pillars, understanding, curiosity, and critical thinking is so essential. Judges, at the beginning of the speech, I asked you to imagine, right? Imagine a world where every certificate is gone and disappeared. What would happen? Well, the answer would be so simple if we apply the 3 educational pillars in our world. Our knowledge, our skills, and our way of thinking would stay with us. Because at the end of the day, knowledge and education should make the world a better place for everyone. And that is the true purpose of education, judges. Thank you so much for your attention. My name is Muhammad Husein Shodiq. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.